The next night, Sarah said, "There's a Jeep up there that's just our size, Sam. Come on, we can pretend we're exploring and drive to the top of the tallest mountain." "I don't think you can drive to the top of the tallest mountain in a Jeep," Sam said. "Besides, we can pretend from down here." I don't think Sam likes heights, do you? "You're not afraid, are you?" Sarah asked. "Of course not," Sam said in a squeaky voice. Sarah saw that Sam was nervous. "We could always do a little research first," she said. "Good idea," said Sam. While looking at a book about mountain climbers, Sarah had another idea. "I'll be right back," she said. She returned with some string and a paper clip. "I'll hook one end of the string up at the top," she said. "Then I'll drop the other end down for you to tie around your waist. That way you won't have to worry about falling." "I'm not worried," Sam said as she started to climb. Soon it was his turn. He remembered he had read that when climbing, he should not look down, so he didn't. So think about this that's happening here in this page. Sam is making a connection, right? He's thinking back to something that he read about, not looking down when you're climbing. And so now he's making a connection back to a book, and now he is experiencing that very same thing too. So another part of being a good reader is, I'll have to bring it down a little bit, to link what we read to our own lives. Right here, to link what we read to our own lives. At the top of the shelf, Sam breathed a sigh of relief. It hadn't been as scary as he thought it would be. And he and Sarah played until dawn. Back on the ground, Sarah said, "You know, I bet we'll explore even more of the world if we rode on that airplane over there." Sam looked up at the display the librarian had hung above the tallest shelves. "It doesn't really fly," he said, "and we couldn't reach it anyways." "I know it can't fly," Sarah said, "but think of how much of the world we could see from up there. We can climb to the top of this bookshelf, then jump over to the plane. It'll be easy." But Sarah wouldn't take no for an answer. "Sam," she said, "tonight we're going to get into that airplane and we're going to see the world." Throughout the day, Sam was so nervous he could hardly sleep or read. He didn't want to let Sarah or himself down, but he didn't want to get into that airplane either. That night, Sarah led Sam to the top of the bookshelf. The airplane looked very far away. "We're explorers and good jumpers too. We can do it," Sarah said. Sam clenched his teeth and crept to the edge. "Follow me," Sarah said, and then she jumped. Sam jumped too and climbed into the seat behind Sarah. "We're off to see the world," she cried. But just at that moment, the string that held up the airplane broke. "Woohoo!" Sarah hollered. "Ah!" Sam screamed. They sailed over the Eiffel Tower and the Great Wall of China, over the Statue of Liberty and the Great Pyramids. They sailed past volcanoes and mountaintops, past coral reefs and deserts, between dark rows of bookshelves, and right out the door of the children's room. The airplane bumped to a stop in the dark hallway. Sam leaped out of his seat. He didn't stop running until he was back in his little hole in the wall. "Sam," Sarah cried, "come back! Explorers don't run from danger." Sarah's not scared, but Sam is. Sam hid behind his bed and wouldn't come out. But later, when his heart stopped pounding, he went to his writing desk, picked up his pencil, and got to work on a new project. "Readers and writers are explorers too," he said. "Wow," Sarah said the next evening when she saw Sam's book. "Sam and Sarah see the world. We're both a couple of explorers. And we never even had to leave the library," said Sam. "We didn't have to leave the library," Sarah said with a twinkle in her eye. "But just think of the books you could write if you really got to see the world. What do you say we take a little research trip? As they strolled through the library, Sam didn't know what to say. He had never met a mouse like Sarah. So, something else that readers do, good readers do, is share their ideas and their feelings about how we feel when we're reading something. So, Sam, after he felt, the falling sensation and flying through the air in that airplane, he went and he wrote about it. He wrote down his feelings about it. So how did you feel whenever you saw that airplane dropping? I mean, that's kind of a scary feeling, right? When you see something happening, but you can't stop it. So we can share our feelings along with the characters in the book. And that's something that good readers do. And so that's the other thing in our chart is good readers share ideas and feelings. I hope you enjoyed our read aloud today.